Hello and welcome to this drive video of the Fiat 500e, Fiat 500 electric. So we're just going to be going today on a few twisty roads just to see how the car drives. And the first thing to talk about is the driving modes. So, as I mentioned in my walk around video, we have three modes. If I just have a look, there's Sherpa, which once that switch is in, that should restrict us, I think. Are we in Sherpa now? Yeah, there you go. That restricts us to 50 miles an hour. And the regen is, yeah, that's genuine one pedal driving. So if we go into range mode, which would be normal in the majority of cars, so Sherpa would be eco and range mode in this is sort of normal mode. So normal mode, yep, that's one pedal driving as well. I'll show you later on when it actually does brake to a complete standstill. And then normal mode, which is what sport mode would be in the majority of other cars, and is so the regen on that steps off quite a bit. So you obviously got your full power there, but the regen, if I take my foot off the throttle, see there's very little regen going on. So that takes a bit of getting used to, because if you're switching between range and normal, sometimes when if you're going into normal mode, which is, for whatever reason you want that full performance and the steering to be a bit heavier, and the throttle response to be just that little bit more sort of urgent. But then you've been driving in range a long time, you forget sometimes that the one pedal driving, all that big amount of regen isn't there, and you suddenly realise, you think, oh, I need to brake. I need to use the foot brake, because so that is a little bit confusing sometimes. It takes a bit of getting used to. So let's just put it back into range mode. What I'll try to do is do a few different routes each time, or for each drive video, just so it keeps there's a bit of variety, and it doesn't get too boring doing the same route all the time. So just to test how it accelerates, how it handles, how it rides. Roadkill. So the ride quality, this isn't the bumpiest section of road, but still, I think we can talk about it. I've been driving it for a couple of weeks now. So, dips and crests, it handles really well. Probably even more so than the Stellantis cars. It doesn't really get upset by bumps sort of mid-corner. Hello. What was that? Corvette. So it doesn't get upset by them at all and handles it really well. And the sort of how it deals with potholes and sort of nasty bumps in the road, the sort of secondary ride. It's slightly firm, but again, it's okay, and almost you could say even a little bit more compliant than, say, the Corsa that I had recently. Only a small amount, a smidge more compliant, but nonetheless very good. Okay, so now we're on a piece of road where we can try out the traction and grip. Now, just before I got to this section, I had sort of got into a 60 section, and you can just feel a slight pull on the steering wheel if you really sort of floor the car. Just a small amount, you know, nothing too much, but you could just feel it in the steering wheel. But there, well, I just accelerated there, I couldn't feel anything. It pulled away fine, no traction control problems. Oh, sorry, no traction problems. So, yeah, and it's got a surprising level of grip. Perhaps not as much as the Corsa did recently, but still, it is, you know, perfectly adequate, more than you need. I mean, pretty much every modern car that, you know, even hatchbacks, small hatchbacks like this, have tremendous amounts of grip for the, you know, the speeds that you're doing on the road. They're more than fine. It's not like we're driving on cross-blade tyres anymore, you know. And even in the wet, there's not much issue. And okay, if you were coming out of a corner and really floored it and driving like a complete hooligan, then yeah, the traction control is probably going to kick in, but you'd expect it to. So no, it's absolutely fine, and it does handle well, you know. It's because it's such a small car, short wheelbase, low centre of gravity. Almost describe it as fun, really. It is a fun car to sort of pedal about. Okay, let's talk about the steering. So yeah, there is a bit of numbness on the straight ahead, but it's really small, you know, and it goes where you point it, and it does turn in very well actually. But again, go back to the size and the short wheelbase and a wheel at each corner, you know, it's always going to handle almost like a go-kart. Communication-wise, yeah, there's a little bit, but again, as with most electric power systems, assisted systems, you know, you don't get a huge amount of what the road is doing beneath you. But to be fair, you know, probably most manufacturers, when they're sort of developing steering, will probably go, well, no one actually wants that, apart from the sort of enthusiast drivers. But probably most of the people don't want to be sort of jiggled about and, you know, in their seat and in their hands. They just want a smooth ride, just to go A to B comfortably, efficiently. So, yeah. All good. Nice pink Peugeot. So what we're going to do now is have a look at performance. So I'll put up the timesheets to show you what the times were. A couple of weeks ago I think it was just under, it was 7.99 seconds, which is over a second quicker than what Fiat say in terms of their 0 to 60. So It's actually, it feels quicker than the figures suggest, well, and it is. It's about a second, but I'm not sure what these times will show. Let's put it back into normal mode.
Cigarettes and bitter wine, just some kids underneath that moonlight, getting closer. Yeah, that was back when I could call you mine, holding hands, falling into the riptide, over and over. Yeah, we were taking off, always running, wasting our days for nothing, singing I love you, with you riding shotgun in my car. Do you remember all of the nights we spent alone? When we were burning the embers.
30 to 70 runs. It's a bit difficult to find manufacturer times on that. So there's no real comparison in a way to make as to whether it's quicker than you think it should be or not. But I think it's worth doing because it gives you an idea of, say you want to overtake a car, or if you're speeding up onto a, from a slip road onto a motorway, so you're getting up to motorway speeds. It just gives you an indication of how long that takes. So I think it's quite a useful measurement. Thanks for watching today's video. It's slightly different format from how it has been previously, mainly because I sort of want to do all the stats and all the figures on the car in the walk around video, and I just want this to be about things that you can't measure. So, sort of how a car feels, how it handles, how it grips, all that sort of thing. But I hope that you've enjoyed watching it, and it gives you an idea of what this car is like to drive. I'll put the links to the other videos in the Fiat 500 sort of series that I'm doing, and I hope to see you guys soon. Haha, you thought the video had finished. I thought about it. I was going to go and do a 30 to 70 run and video it, and I thought it's just going to be a bit dull to watch, really. It's not like the 0 to 60. So I'll just put the 30 to 7. What? The 30 to 70 timesheet up on the screen now, just to give you an idea of the time that it took. So now I will say thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.